And good morning. How's everybody doing today? Good, doing good? Trying to get everything going. It's been a few days, so I'm a little out of practice. Welcome to Forged with Fire. My name is Spencer Ray, aka Fire Squasher 357, thus Forged with Fire. This is where we talk about life lessons and leadership for guys, for men, aka learn from my stupid mistakes. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for following. Oh, man, it's been a crazy couple weeks. I was back in the office last week, so didn't get a chance to jump on and do a podcast. Being a holiday weekend, also my anniversary weekend. Didn't have time this weekend to get on and say hey to everybody here and talk about stuff going on, but it is what it is. I'm back here, trying to squeeze in one of these every chance I get. So yeah, so it's been a crazy couple weeks. Like I said, my wife and I celebrated our 18th anniversary. Ooh, cable's falling there. 18 years. 18 years. That's crazy. It's amazing and wonderful. I'm so glad that she put up with me for so long. It's been good. It's we've been through some great times, some bad times. You know the vows that you do, for better or worse, richer or poorer. Yeah, we've done all of it. I don't know about the richer part. We're getting debt free, but it's uh it's been a ride. It's been a great ride, and we're not getting off the ride anytime soon. So it was fun. Got to do something manly this weekend. We decided to build a shed. Um, with the cost of lumber prices right now, if you've looked at buying a house or building a house or buying something, you've noticed the price of lumber has went up like what did they say, like almost 1,000%, something like that, or 300%. I can't remember what it is. There's so many things that inflation is going nuts on right now. It's hard to keep track. So I ended up buying a metal building kit and spent about 12 hours putting a 10 by 14 shed together this weekend. But hey, I've got a storage shed now, and all of my yard equipment and bikes and stuff are out of my garage, and I actually have room to park my cars. It's great. It's great. But no, it was a great anniversary weekend. We actually spent the previous weekend on a little getaway, little refresh, and spent time away planning for vision planning, I guess you could call it, for our future for the next 3 to 5, 10 years. Where we want to go, what we want to do, how we want to engage our kids, especially our two older ones while they're still in high school. So it's great. It's really fun. So I would definitely suggest it if you're married. I don't care if you're coming up on your first anniversary or your 50th. Um, I definitely suggest finding it's little tongue tied this morning. Finding a retreat book. We used one by Jimmy Evans. Finding a retreat book, taking a weekend, and taking a whole day just to sit down and go through the book together to talk about where you've been, um, what you've enjoyed together, what you've done well, what you've done poorly, and how to move forward. So it's been fun. Like I said, it's been a really busy, really crazy, um, but it's been enjoyable. But I've missed getting on here and saying hi to everybody that actually follows me. Oh man! So what to talk about today? I think I'm gonna go. Thought about trying to find something different, but I go to a men's group, a local men's group, every Tuesday here in Springfield, Missouri, and we all take turns leading. We don't just have one person that stands up and leads. We don't follow a specific book or guideline. We all take turns and stand up and lead and talk about subjects that are affecting us, things in the Bible that we feel we need to address, and kind of like what I do here, except we have a different guy every week. And last week was my turn, or actually yesterday was my turn. And I got up and talked about legacy. Which has kind of been, I guess, it's been a big theme for me in my personal life over the last couple years. Um, it really hit home. I read a book a few years ago called Raising a Modern Day Knight, because my son was starting to get older. He was 11 or 12 at the time. And I read the book, and it talks about the importance of having male role models, good male role models, in the lives of young men. And man, it's crazy how important it is. I actually need to go back and reread the book because I know some of the stats had been updated in the version that I got. The book was actually written like 15, 20 years ago, but they update it every couple of years with new stats on how having a father or a positive male influence in a young man's life, how much better off they are to have those influences. And that's what ended up, you know, me taking my son to the Rolex 24 in Florida. He when he turns 13, he hit the Sage. I think that's what they call it, Sage or Page. Basically, it goes back to medieval knights, and when they turn 13, they become a sage, yeah, and it's where they start learning how to be men. But you also, as they step into that first role of being a man, you do something big and important and take them and do something manly. So we went to a 24-hour race in Daytona because we're big racing fans and we love cars and, you know, loud, big, vroom, vroom. So we did that, but it started me down a path to where I think a lot about the legacy that I'm leaving for my kids and for those in my community around me. And so I had some thoughts come up in my head being at work in the office, and I'm not in a area being in marketing. I'm not in an area that we're doing a lot of calls with customers or with stores for the company that I work for, and I get a lot of time to listen to podcasts, so I'm listening to a ridiculous amount of podcasts right now. And there were four areas that popped in my head as I'm listening to these podcasts of legacy that we really need to leave behind and consider what we're leaving behind. It, you know, most of them from the spirit, from a biblical viewpoint, but I think they could be modified if you're not a believer to where you still make the world a better place for the next generation and you bring them up with good, I guess morals is the best word that I know how to use. You bring them up with good morality to help those along and continue to make the world a better place, and weed out hate and racism and laziness and just things that make the world go bad. Um, but the four areas that I popped up, let me pull this up. Uh, like I said, the first one was more focused on um, a biblical standpoint of spirituality, a spiritual legacy, and then also a relational legacy, an emotional legacy, and a financial legacy. Um, there's a big verse in Proverbs 22:6 that says, "Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it." Um, and I don't, like I said, it comes out of the Bible, but I think it's one that even if you're not a believer, if you raise a kid, um, teaching them how to love others, how to treat others with respect, um, know, you know, just how to treat others with respect and love them, where there's no racism, where there's no um, phobias of somebody else's lifestyle. I really don't know how else to put it because I mean I don't want to get into a big debate. I know it's Pride Month right now, and while I live my life from a biblical standpoint, and I may not agree with somebody else's lifestyle, I don't hate them for it. God has given us all free will, and if that's the way they choose to live their life, you know what? I'm going to love them. I'm going to show them the love of Christ. And if it sparks a conversation about my beliefs, great. If not, you know what? I'm still going to love them. And I'm not going to sit here and Bible bash them and treat them with disrespect, because that's just not right. Because Jesus sat down and had dinner and loved on the worst of the worst in his generation, and I'm not saying that came out wrong. I'm not saying they're the worst, but people that were considered outcasts in his generation and considered the worst sinners, he sat down and had dinner with them and loved them. And, there is still a stigma around some lifestyles, but you know what? I'll still love them and treat them with respect. So yeah, I want to kind of get back on track of talking about legacy, because I don't have a ton of time. Unless I'm back in the office today, or back at home today still. But it's getting close to work time. But leaving a legacy is something as men we really need to concentrate on, because how do you want to be remembered? How do you want, if you have sons, or even if you have more daughters, how do you want them to remember you? Um, I'm not going to bash video gamers, because we all have to have an outlet. But if all you ever do is sit on a PC or a console and play games, and you don't pay attention to your kids, you don't take them outside, you don't play, you don't take them on vacation and focus on them and helping them become a better person, um, you have made the world a lesser place, because they need your guidance, they need your love, they need you to be present. You don't have to be perfect, you just need to be present. And just doing that without going super deep into teaching them how to have a relationship with, a spouse, um, especially if you're married and you have kids, teaching them how to love your spouse, or teaching them how to handle finances, or teaching them how to handle the emotions that come as they go through certain stages of life, without going into all that depth. Just being present makes a huge change in the legacy and the trajectory of your family. So just, if you have a problem, if you're getting in arguments, if you're married and you're having arguments, disagreements, or there's stress because you spend too much time on a gaming platform, take an hour. Let's just say start with an hour. Do an hour less a week or on a weekend, and go outside, play with your kids. Take them on a walk, go to a playground, throw a ball around, chase them around the yard, tickle them, throw them on the floor and tickle them. Just have fun with them and start building a legacy. Um, because I heard on a podcast, in fact, I think it was a Dave Ramsey podcast, for, since I'm working on these finances and I'm a financial coach, I kind of follow some of the extreme rules of Dave Ramsey, or I try to anyway. I'm not perfect at them. Um, there was a comment made by one of his guest hosts that said they basically, they were being challenged by a caller, and they asked the caller, "Do you remember your great grandfather's name?" And the caller was like, "No, I don't." And the response was, "Well, then what kind of legacy did your great grandfather leave your family? If you don't remember your great grandfather's name, what kind of legacy is there out there for your family?" And that really struck me. I mean, it really hit me hard. Um, I do remember one of my great grandfathers. I do remember his name. His name was Arthur. Um, he didn't he didn't like kids very much, but he he could turn it on and be a grandfather whenever he needed to be. Um, and it just hit me thinking about what I've done, where we've been, where we're going. Some of the planning that my wife and I have talked about, and it really, like I said, it really hit me home. Are my great grandkids gonna remember my name? What am I doing right now to leave a legacy where my great grandkids will remember my name? Ooh, that's tough. 2 generations. 1, 2, yeah, 3. Kids, great grandkid. Yeah, kids, grandkids, great grandkids. 3. 3. Will they remember my name if I'm not here? Or even if I am here, they're going to be very young, and I might not get to know them for very long before I'm called home. But am I going to leave a legacy that's going to change the trajectory of my family they'll remember me and, hey, you remember Pawpaw Spencer? Not that that's what my grandkids are going to call me one of these days, but that's just first thing that pops in my head. He did this. He did that. He made sure everybody knew that they were loved. He made sure my grandma and grandpa knew that they were loved. He made sure everybody knew that they had a place in this world. He made sure that we knew not to go into debt because debt just hurts you. You know, what am I doing? Instead of, I don't remember him. I remember Grandma and Grandpa said he used to play video games a lot. And that's it. So, you know, I don't want to leave too heavy of a stamp on this for at the end of the day, but just think about your legacy. Think about what you're doing with your kids right now. Think about your trajectory of where your life is going. What are you doing now that's going to affect your kids as adults and your grandkids? And is it something that's going to put a permanent stamp on your family saying, you know, we're drawing a line here and we're going to make a difference, and you're going to change the trajectory of your family and your family tree. It can be fun. It can be good. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of joy, maybe a little bit of tears and heartbreak when you have to console somebody that's had a relationship issue or something. You know, sometimes them teenage girls can be emotional. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Mine's great. She thinks high school boys are stinky. So it's great. But anyway, leave a legacy, guys. Don't just sit on your butt all the time and tune out the world. You gotta engage your family. Gotta engage your kids. If you don't have kids and you don't plan on it, you know, try to find an organization like Big Brothers Big Sisters, if they have that in your area, and engage the next generation. Just spend, like I said, start with an hour or two a week, and change the world, make the world better for somebody else. It's always been my big thing. Change the world and make it a better place. Make somebody else's world a better place. Don't just use it all up for yourself. So anyway, that's about it for me today. I gotta get ready to go to work. Really appreciate everybody that's supporting, that's following what we're doing here. Like I said, we've trying to work out the timing on when to get these done. I think I may end up trying to do a podcast on Saturday or Sunday instead of during the week. Might get a few more live viewers and maybe a few more views on the YouTube channel and everything else. But again, I do appreciate the family and friends, all 4 or 5 of you that are watching, following, liking. We'll get there. We'll get some more. But I would appreciate it if you're watching this and you don't follow or subscribe, that you would follow me, like here. Wow, I'm getting tongue-tied today. I need more coffee. On Twitch, I am FireSquasher357. On Facebook and YouTube, you can like, subscribe, or follow Forged with Fire. On Instagram, we are forged.with.fire. Or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, topics that you'd like to hear me blab on about of where I've screwed up in my life, maybe it'll help you. You can email me at forgedwithfireonline, one word, forgedwithfireonline@gmail.com. And I'll respond as quick as I can. We'll talk about some topics if you got something. And we'll try to do it all better together. So yeah, sounds good, doesn't it? Well, guys, thanks for listening again and listening to my rambling. I really appreciate it. Again, please like, share, follow. Let's build a better community and build a better world. You guys have a great day. God bless.